Hello, this is Sarita, and I'm here to help you understand the truth about who you are. So today I wanted to answer a question that somebody sent me about being in the present moment and creating from that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you the question and then I'll go ahead and answer it. So the question was, Sarita, I absolutely understand the come clean to the present moment, as in be in a moment where your old negative emotions and experiences and expectations based on them no longer exist. But what I find challenging is the creation part. What exactly do you mean by creating? If I am in the present full of possibilities, how to create while staying there versus my mind thinking of the future? Is it that my participating in creating in the present moment is the feelings I have? So, for example, enjoying playing with my baby, giving thanks for that while being joyful and carefree. Would love just a little clarity. So this is an interesting question. And what I would say, if I'm understanding this question correctly, is that this person is wondering why they would even necessitate creating at all if they were being entirely present. And what I think it's worthwhile to consider is that we came into this incarnation so that we could experience ourselves through choice and the imaginal realm coming into matter-based fruition through our choices. Now, what's happened in this realm for various reasons, including the expansion of our egos and the control inflicted through the inverted matrix system, is that those choices have actually been warped in a way. And so what happens, as this person rightly said, is that we are creating from our attachments and our perceptions and our trauma about the way we think things should be. And what we're trying to get to is to become so absolutely present that each of our next moment choices are created unequivocally from a clean slate, if you will, where the past doesn't or hasn't programmed us to choose the next moment from a desire for control and safety. So what I mean by this is that if we can be entirely present and we've cleaned up our trauma and got to a place where we are present and we're not running ahead of ourselves, trying to control and create a future from the anxiety of worrying, and we're not in despair and regret about things we did wrong in the past, what happens is that we actually create choices about the future which come from the purity of the present moment. So what's normally happening is that we are creating our realities in every now moment based upon our unconscious desires to be safe no matter what. And this is because we've been programmed to believe that we are finite beings and that we die and that we're unsafe, when the truth is that we're infinite beings made of love. And whilst these physical body suits, at least at this point in our evolution, fall away from us as we, if you like, well, I'll use the word die, but we don't really die. What we do is we really just transition into other states, which then give us new choices about whether to come back again or not, depending on our state of consciousness at the moment of death. And I've done a few videos about death and reincarnation and what happens to us when we die. So when we make choices, knowing the truth of who we are as an infinite energy source that has infinite choices in our experiences, we're not making the choices, or in other words, creating from our unconscious past. We're creating from the unlimited possibilities in the present moment. And the reason why so many spiritual teachers talk about the present moment is when you actually get into the present moment and you've dropped the attachment to linear space and time, so in other words, the future and the past, one tends to feel an elevation in one's consciousness. So you do feel bliss states, states of joy, states of peace, or at the very least, states of neutrality. And so then the unlimited potential from those elevated states allows you to make choices which are truly conscious, because the unconscious is not running the show of your creation, but your present moment conscious awareness is choosing a new creation. So it's up to us to create our future, and we get to create our future from anything that we desire to happen to us. But this is very, very, very hard if we've got this massive unconscious supercomputer of a program and the ego running those choices coming forwards. So the idea is to be able to hold your present moment state of being, which is naturally going to elevate your vibration. And then from that present moment to then choose anything you desire to happen in the next now moment, which you can then enjoy fully again. So you wouldn't be enjoying your next now moment, for example, from a place of guilt or a place of control or a place of perpetration or a place of fear. You would enjoy it knowing that you were loved and that you fully deserved to have whatever your heart's desire is in the next now moment, and you would be able to live that next now moment fully as it arrives. And this is because this linear construct of the past, present, and the future really is an enslavement program, and it's a trap, because the truth of what's actually happening is that in every now moment, you are creating an entire new universe. You're not adding the next moment onto your last moment. It appears as if we are adding our next moments onto our last moments, but that's only because we are attached to the past, because we believe that we need to analyze the past and hold it in our awareness in order to choose the next moment. And it's true in a way. We learn from our past because our past shows us the consequences of our choices. But beyond showing us the consequences of our choices, we should let it go. Once we understand the consequences of a choice we make, what that really does is it should free us to make a new choice, a new creation. But what so many of us do is we take the consequences of our past, berate ourselves with those consequences, or if they're good consequences, attach ourselves to them. We must have that again. It was so good. And then we create our next now moment in an absolute intrinsic attachment to that program that we have inflicted upon ourselves. So I think this person in their question was getting muddled. You know, why do we create if we're being entirely in the present? And how do we even create if we're being entirely in the present? So the idea is we come into the present moment, and in absolute purity of that present moment, feeling into it as much as we can, we then make a conscious choice about what we're going to create in the next moment. It literally is a moment. We then step into that moment and fully enjoy the next moment in the purity of what that brings. Even if that purity is bringing us anger or hate or sadness or distress, as well as if it's bringing us joy and bliss and love and comfort, all of those things. The idea is to be fully in the feeling of the present so that your next choice is one made from the wisdom of the present moment only. So I hope that that has been a little more revealing for you, for those of you that were getting muddled between what to do. And what I would say is, if in doubt, just be present. Because actually just being present and witnessing yourself in the present moment and allowing yourself to feel everything that's coming up without trying to restrict yourself, attach to anything, or suppress yourself will actually naturally give you a more enlightened next now moment. And it will give you a greater variety of choice in your next now moment. So thank you very much for listening. And I'm sending all of you my deepest love.